Do you have holiday stress or are you in the holiday spirit? Well, let's see. Today I want to talk about how to tame seasonal stress and calm the senses for a more serene holiday. I'm Dr. Sarah, and if you want to go ahead and learn more about this topic, specifically the statistics on holiday stress, the top holiday stressors of this year, mental health in the holidays, stress effects on the brain and the body, and the good news, which is how to counter the detrimental effects of holiday stress and even enhance your emotional and physical health. You're going to want to stick around and watch the full video and check out the article, which is actually posted either in the video description or it is below the actual video if you're reading this on my website. So let's go ahead and get started. So the season of the spirit is officially upon us. If you're watching this in real time when it's recorded, Thanksgiving has just passed and we have counted our blessings. And if we allowed ourselves to harness the physical and mental benefits of health aspects of gratitude, we are feeling maybe rejuvenated, inspired, and refreshed from igniting this emotional state. And by the way, if you want to check out all of the physical and mental health benefits of gratitude, make sure to check out my previous video, which will be linked to in the article. But for most people, holding on to these invigorating feelings throughout the year can be a bit of a challenge. With all the beauty and the gifts that the holiday brings, it's also a source of stress and expectations and triggers. And for many people, the extra shopping, additional gatherings, and further preparations can make somebody feel overwhelmed. This spur of activity and topping it off with the already chronic upheaval of what's been going on in the world, it can definitely heighten intensity of emotions that may be prompted by these various aspects of these events. So if you're feeling more unsettled than uplifted, you are not alone in this. So what I want to do is I want to go through this topic of holiday stress to help you understand why we need to take our emotional health and wellness and self-care very seriously, especially during this time of year and throughout all the year. And I hope it will help you gain more serenity within this particularly busy months ahead. So holiday stress statistics. I was searching for holiday stress statistics and the latest statistics aren't officially really out yet, but I do have some of the top health stress statistics reported by Everlywell, which did a compilation of I think it was over 30 different health statistics. I listed the top 10. And they stated that 88% of Americans felt stressed while celebrating the holidays, that more women than men reported feeling stressed around the holidays, that 38% of biological female surveyed respondents stated they were stressed about holiday costs. 43% of 2,000 survey participants indicated feeling more stressed in 2021 than in the holiday season of 2020. Holiday shopping and planning were more prevalent for women, and they felt more stress from the limited time available to get everything done as a result. For American parents with children, holiday stress started earlier, with 27% reporting it began in November, which is right now. And commonly reported emotions during the holidays include fatigue, stress, people could feel irritable, and extra sadness. A decrease in stress was actually found prior to 2020 in those aged 30 and younger, and we know that mental health is actually going down recently, so I don't know if that would hold now. The leading causes of stress that are reported are lack of time, lack of money, commercialism or hype, pressure for giving or getting gifts, and for some people staying on a diet. You all know how I feel about diet and diet culture, but that is a stress for some people. A lot of people actually. And a 2021 survey identified that US residents are also stressed about gifts getting delivered late or being lost in the mail. So these survey results reported differences that were based on cisgender. So just so you're aware, I want to be sensitive about that. Reports for other genders weren't specified at the time of the surveys, but I'm sure that we're going to be seeing more of that come out with more inclusive surveys in the future. And I just want you to know with these statistics that yes, if you're stressed, you totally are not alone. So that can kind of bring about a sense of relief in and of itself. What about for 2022? As I said, some of the latest statistics weren't officially out yet, but I did find a survey of over 1,000 people, and 57% of participants answered that they were either much more concerned or somewhat more concerned with holiday spending this year than last year. Now, we know that we're in economical strains right now, and because of this, it's already compiled on top of the holiday stress of spending, in which most people actually can overcharge their credit cards and go into debt for. What the report concluded by the researchers was that most consumers believe that shopping will have a negative effect on their holiday spirit this year, which is pretty sad, actually, because it's taking the meaning of the holidays and making it more of a stress than more of a healing and rejuvenating time. Now, if people are struggling with mental health, it can be even more emotionally charged and more hard on their pocketbooks. According to the National Alliance of Mental Health, they report that individuals and families coping with mental health actually can have more loneliness and more stress during these times. And it can also contribute to worsening of symptoms. So for example, people with schizophrenia can have heightened hallucinations and delusions. Bipolar can trigger more manic episodes under stress, and it can also worsen depression. And the crisis on top of all this has made maintaining mental health very challenging for many people. Furthermore, with the financial stress, this is especially difficult for those with a mental health disorder, because the less we earn and the more we buy, the worse it gets, right? But it's true for everyone. For those with mental illnesses, it can affect them even more, because the mental illness can impact how much money someone makes and how much money they spend. So we need to be aware of these additional stressors and what they can do for people in general, as well as those with mental health that get exacerbated by this time of year potentially. But chronic stress doesn't just perpetuate symptoms in those with brain processing differences. It actually rewires the brain in every human being. And even those not currently labeled with a mental health issues, unrelenting stress can increase the risk for psychiatric disorders. So if we look into the specifics of this, long-term chronic stress can actually downregulate neural pathways to the prefrontal cortex and enhance connections to the limbic, or the emotional part of the brain, specifically the amygdala and hippocampus. What this means is it can change one's ability to cope effectively and think rationally with the prefrontal cortex, and it's going to result in more emotional responses and less logical thinking, okay? It can even affect mental and relationship issues. It can also bring about a sense of a loss of memory, not remembering what to do or what comes next in this imperative time for festivity planning. That's because, again, stress hits that hippocampal area, which is related to memory. Now, to add insult to injury, stress can also cause a wide range of bodily symptoms. These are going to vary per the individual based on what specific vulnerabilities they have. But stress has an impact on hormonal balances, immune function, and basically every other system in the body. So stress really does impact everything from the brain to all of the body. So we need to be aware of this. Now, you know you're not alone in feeling stressed, and maybe you're even more stressed about feeling stressed now that you know what stress does to you and your brain, but I don't want you to worry, because there's good news. We aren't all doomed to suffer with emotional and physical havoc from stress. There's many ways that we can manage stress, and some of them even promote more health as they soothe the mind. And that's because they can enhance our cellular physiology and our gene expression for the better. Mind-body techniques, laughter, relaxation, lifestyle practices, and self-care all have been found to influence these epigenetic pathways that could be hijacked by feeling inundated with emotional upheaval. So what I'm saying is, the way that we treat our bodies and different things that we do, whether it be through meditation, yoga, anything that calms the body, even laughter, relaxation, different lifestyle practices like movement, getting enough sleep, those modulate our cellular physiology and turn on specific genes to function better. And the result is better health, which is pretty cool. Now, one of my favorite modalities for mind body health is, you probably guessed it, right? Essential oils. That's because essential oils have been found to not only reduce cortisol, which is a stress hormone, they also have a profound mood, brain, and mind body balancing effect. Okay. So they accomplish this through modulating brain signals, specifically influencing neurotransmitters. They can shift brain waves, specifically certain ones can enhance more alpha waves and states of relaxation. They can calm our emotions, they can enhance cognition, and they support that cellular physiology, right, for better physical health. The good news is that because essential oils work directly on the emotional brain, they can immediately shift our perception. And a lot of stress effects are related to our perception, right? What we think about, even if the tiger isn't there and we're running from this imaginary tiger, actually has a profound impact on our body, because our brain can't tell the difference between if we're scared of something real or if we're in a state of arousal because of some imaginary danger. So essential oils aroma can actually come in, hijack this negative cascade at the level of the source, and then their biological properties can work in harmony to rebalance the nervous system and the hormonal milieu in the body, which can be supremely supportive for everyone, especially those with mental health issues that need to calm the brain and body. So maybe you're asking, what do I recommend? What specific oils? I'm going to get to that more so in even later videos, but I do want to kind of stop for a moment and talk about this emotions in a bottle. Okay. So many of you probably have seen some of your favorite oil companies have essential oils with emotional labels on it, like a joyful blend or happy blend or peaceful blend or different, basically any different array of emotions on the spectrum, right? Now, some of my favorite oils to help manage emotions are in these manufactured bottles and blends from quality essential oils manufacturers. Quality is the key here, and if you don't know what determines quality in an essential oil company, I do ask you to go to the source article and click on the link for quality or search my database for that, because that is important. But they are often labeled for this, and there is some science for this. Let me explain why. Well, I talked about it a little bit just previously about the way that they impact our mind, body, and can shift our mood at the level of perception. Some other points to make is that smells themselves can evoke an emotional response based on an association someone has with that smell from previous associations, and that induces an emotional shift. Odors actually have been demonstrated to affect psychology, physiology, and biochemistry through their interactions with receptors in the body. So they actually can modulate our physiology through mechanisms beyond smell. Specifically, there's odor receptors in the body. So this can be a whole distinct action of odors and smells. The ability to detect odors itself has been correlated to neurological disorders as well as longevity. So this shows you how our sense of smell is actually intricately linked to health outcomes. Certain odors can trigger not just emotions, but also memories based on previous associations. And this can lead to behavioral responses, which can affect our emotions, our physiology, and our relationship responses, right? And smell can also impact emotional intelligence, which is a determinant of social connection. So that's just through smells. And before I was talking about essential oils, which is a combination of scents with these physiological properties, plus the biological properties of these actual odorants just from smell alone. That's a lot of science packed in a little tiny oil bottle, right? So one of my favorite blends this time of year is actually a grateful blend. And let me just go through some of those essential oils that are in there so you have an idea of how they could potentially cause someone to feel more grateful. So they have conifer trees in them, which are comforting, they're grounding, things such as Canada balsam fir or Northern Lights black spruce. Those are very grounding conifer oils. There is frankincense and myrrh, which are a sacred duo, and those are good for emotional and physical balance, as well as the neurological support they give from the sesquiterpenes they contain. It has bergamot in it, which is very calming and soothing. It has a balancing chemistry for coriander that is also effective for mood as well as digestion, actually. There's the heart supporting scent of ylang ylang. There's a reset refresher of vetiver, which also calms the mood. The tonifying tension relief of geranium. And if you want specifics about the mechanisms, I'm not going to really get into that in this video, but I do get into that in the article reference link. So you can, if you want to dive into the chemistry of the essential oils and their specific mechanisms, if that overview just left you wanting more. So to summarize, the holiday season definitely brings with it joy, but it also brings with it a lot of stress. And if you're in overwhelm, you're not alone, right? We went through all of those statistics. And the holidays, the additional strains related to the state of our world can really, really, really impact mental health, and especially if somebody already has a mental health issue. So it's imperative that we take excellent self-care and to be mindful of our emotional upheavals and our triggers that can hijack our brain and body. Now, I've talked about how different mind-body practices can actually help do this by how they modulate our epigenetics or how they influence our cellular physiology for better health and to tone down inflammation and some of the responses of stress. I also have an integrative mental health and resource guide. Again, that'll be in the link in the article or in the resources that you will see in the video description. And categories in that include integrative mental health resources, naturopathic and integrative stress relief tips, cognitive and brain health support, natural approaches to that, mind-body medicine, some of those things that I mentioned before, specific examples, and essential oils to help balance emotions, mental health, and nourish the body. So I hope that you found this helpful and that you can use it to assist you in finding a state of more ease, more calmness, and definitely more peace during the holidays. That is my wish for you. And I will be providing more articles and more videos sprinkled throughout the holidays and in the months ahead to talk about how different essential oils and different mind-body tools can support you through these times of stress and in life in general. I want to send you many blessings ahead for a beautiful holiday season, and I would love to hear your comments. Please do make sure that you check out the resources that I discussed, as well as additional resources that will be available on my website. I offer courses. I also offer free videos as well as free resource guides with essential oils that you can get your hands on. And I also have a whole essential oil database with monographs of specific essential oils, as well as different health categories that you can use them for, a whole section on safety and more. So be sure to check that out if you love essential oils. I wish you the best, and I will talk to you real soon. Take care.